Strategy. It's a powerful concept. It's an important concept, but it's changing. I'm Rita McGrath, professor at Columbia Business School in the city of New York, and I'd like to share with you some of the thinking behind my new book, The End of Competitive Advantage. And what I do in that book is I talk a lot about how our traditional views of strategy treats companies kind of like a castle, because what we want to do is build a sustainable competitive advantage. So you build your castle, and you put a moat around it, and you try to defend it to the death. And it's very much about defending the status quo. Well, you know what? In more and more parts of our economy, that world goes away. And instead what we have is what I call waves of competitive advantage, which are advantages that you move through as they develop. You've got a whole pipeline of advantages, each of which has a specific life cycle stage. So you've got the innovation process. How are you going to find those insights that drive the new way of thinking? Then you've got a process of ramping those up. How do you get them to scale so that you can actually take advantage of them? Then you've got your exploitation phase, which is lovely, but you've also got to be hyper aware that things may be changing. The advantage may be eroding. And if it does, you need to have a disengagement process that pulls resources out of that old advantage and reinvests in something that's new. So what you want to be thinking about is an ongoing series of waves that your organization is creating to take advantage of transient advantages. In my book, I describe a new playbook for strategy, which has 6 basic elements. Continuous reconfiguration. By the time you need change management, things have probably gotten too settled. Secondly, constructive disengagement, getting resources out of exhausted advantages so that you can fund the new things you need to be doing. Third, deft resource allocation, separating out the power in your company from the resource allocation process. If you let powerful people control where the resources go, all you're going to be doing is defending that castle to the bitter end. Fourth, continuous innovation. Innovation is an ongoing process, not something that's some senior manager's pet project. Fifth, leadership. We need new kinds of leaders who are prepared to face the facts, prepared to be candid, prepared to take advantage of getting an early jump on bad news, if that's what's necessary. And lastly, this has huge implications for us. How do we build our careers in a transient advantage economy? We're all going to have to be entrepreneurial. It's described in my new book, The End of Competitive Advantage.